Hello everybody, this is Miss Williams talking to you. So far in this chapter we have learned about a couple rules that are helping you to find derivatives. One of the rules we looked at was the sum rule. If f of x was equal to two other functions being added together, g of x and h of x, in order to find the derivative of f of x, we just found the derivative of both the other functions and added them together. That was an easy rule. The second rule we looked at was the product rule. We use the product rule when f of x is equal to two other functions being multiplied by each other, g of x times h of x. And something we discovered was that to find the derivative, you cannot actually just take the derivative of both g of x and h of x and multiply them together. Instead, you had to use a slightly more complicated rule. That rule was very exciting. Now, in this video, we're going to learn another new rule, and it's called the quotient rule. We use the quotient rule when f of x is equivalent to two functions which are being divided. G of x divided by h of x. And as you can guess, to find the derivative of f of x, it's not as easy as taking the derivative of g of x and dividing it by the derivative of h of x. Instead, there's a slightly more complicated rule, kind of like the product rule. And in the rest of this video, we are going to look at developing the quotient rule using what we know about the product rule. So let's get started! So consider some function f of x equaling to g of x divided by h of x. And our goal is to find f prime of x. I'm going to start by rearranging this equation here and getting rid of the division by multiplying both sides by h of x. Now I can find the derivative of the left-hand side using the product rule, which we've already learned, and I can find the derivative of the right-hand side because it's one function, so it's just g prime of x. Now the goal is, like we said, to find f prime of x, so I'm going to isolate that by moving this over to the other side and then dividing both sides by h of x. Awesome. Now I don't want to have the right hand side with an f of x in it. I want the right hand side to be written in terms of g of x and h of x. So I'm going to replace f of x with g of x over h of x. Alright, this is looking pretty good, but we have some kind of ugly fractions in our equation, and I want to simplify it a little more. So I'm going to combine the terms in the numerator by creating a common denominator of h of x and putting the terms together. In order to write g prime of x with the denominator of h of x, I need to multiply top and bottom by h of x. And then I'll subtract the other term. I don't like writing one fraction over another fraction, so I'm going to put this all in brackets and I'm going to multiply it by 1 over h of x, which is the same thing as dividing by h of x. Okay, go ahead and combine the numerators and write them over the single denominator of h of x. Wonderful! We're only one more simplification away. We're just going to multiply the numerators and the denominators. This, of course, will stay the same since it's being multiplied by 1. And in the denominator, we're going to have h of x squared. And this is the derivative of f of x. This is the quotient rule.